Right now we are here at the Holy Trinity School, and all of the ballot boxes are presently handed over at this time to the returning officer. Once again, we are here live at Holy Trinity School for the Barbuda Council Local Council Election 2025. Once again, we are live here at the Holy Trinity Primary School in Barbuda, and it's Barbuda Council Election Watch 2025. Amazingly, all of the ballot boxes, um, the workers, they're here returning their boxes to the returning officer, um, Lorna Benjamin Hughes, right here at the Holy Trinity School. Um, at the Holy Trinity School. Alright. So once again, we are live here at the Holy Trinity School. Amazingly, all of the ballot boxes are here.
Yes, and it's my, if I tell you this, historically, for me, first experience with this process, and that process, surprisingly, I see all the boxes and coming one time. Okay, while on the mainland, all the boxes go, like you have cars running here, bus running there, and people driving up behind them, and it's just a simple process. Walk from one schoolroom to the next, and if we would have that process where where you vote and you count at the same place, it's quite interesting. However, I see that they're getting things all set up for the moment of counting, and as we gather up ourselves to bring it ball by ball, I know that this evening is going to be very intense.
This is amazing. It is. I've never seen this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I am very, really, we just want to hear, eager to hear the turnout from the last time and see if there's been some increase. So we just want our viewers to know that we are live at the Holy Trinity School. All the officers, presiding officers, the workers, they're returning the ballot box to the returning officer, right? Returning officer, right? So all that and all these boxes will have to be counted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boxes. So I hope so talk a little. I'm going to get Elisa. She's going to give us an update.
All right. So as we proceed, we look at what's happening here on the ground. I see two of the candidates for the Antigua Labour Party, one Arthur Nibbs and Orlando Morris, and they're here. I see Miss George in as they prepare to start doing the counting. Well, everybody's at ease, boxes in hand, and all that there is. And it's my inside experience of seeing this happen. So the evangelist will have to guide me through this, because the last time he was running from booth to booth, from inside to outside, in order to bring me the news. This evening, he's not going to be on the inside and then on the outside to bring me the news. I know that there are going to be some interesting things happening here tonight. So I see the chair of the BPM, John Mossington, in, and he is there steadfast, holding up the wall. And, I can tell you this, my heart is pounding, boo-boo-doo, boo-boo-doo.
And let me just say this, if your heart is pounding, I guess all the others. So right here we can look and see we have already those who will be doing the counting from both sides. Here we have some of the candidates also inside, and I know more candidates will be coming in very soon. And, so we are seeing a lot of movements, and folks are quite ready. What I'm also seeing is some familiar faces of those who normally come. So we know who does not who are normally inside.
Yes. I'm down here and we don't start feel cold.
Wow. Well, I'm telling you. So what we're gonna do at this time, we're just gonna take a break. We're gonna pause our audio so we can send the live feed so folks can know what's going on.
Lydia? All right, good evening, everyone. Where are my two tally clerks? We're going to start the count in a few. A person who wish the can I come? Where are you? Look. I put them at the back there. Just click up. Yes, baby girl, you don't have a band on your post. Anybody have a scissors? I'm already scissors. Anybody have a scissors? Can I take this? Thank you. All right. Good evening, everyone. We're going to start the count in just a few minutes. I want to thank my team. You have been wonderful. And so big up yourself. It was my pleasure working with you. Thank you for your service. My tally clerks, I hope you are ready. Because you too. Sorry? Okay, go ahead, I'm speaking. You too are who I take my cue from. And my backup at the back, the agents, the candidates, whomever. Okay? But you too are the official tally clerk. So listen carefully as we proceed. We're going to start with box number 1, A to C.
Susan, could we make some arrangements in terms of desk and chairs for persons who...
Mr. Mussington, that is on you. You need to go get your desk and chairs.
It's rushed, so we're here and we don't know what's happening. We're in control of the room, and I think...
Yes.
Should we make so the persons can...
Who is going to make that provision, sir?
Electoral Commission.
No, sir. So if you want me to wait a few minutes while you go get... Because, excuse me, let us make it clear again. Let us make it clear, very clear. The law says only the candidates and their spouses are allowed in the counting room with my tally clerks. Unfortunately, sir, you are neither of those two categories, but I am allowing you to participate. So if you want to be in here, you have to get your own accommodations. Okay? The law says the candidates, their spouses, and in this case, I guess the agents were appointed to fill in for the candidates, so they are fine. So long as they are fine, Mr. Mussington, I am fine. You do not fall in that category. Okay? But if you want to go get something, go quickly and come. Sorry? No, Mr. Mussington. Mr. Mussington, I can decide to clear this room and only leave who I have. So please don't start down that line. So get the desk and the chair, and I will accommodate you. Thank you. And another thing, before we start, the clerks need to hear the names that are being called. Okay? If it is that I cannot hear, I'm going to ask for the room to be cleared and only leave me back with my 2 tally clerks and the agents that the party has assigned to count on their behalf. Is that clear? I'm affording you a privilege to be a part of the count. Do you understand that? Thank you very much. I don't even know yet, but I didn't even read. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I'll look at it to see exactly how it is, and we will start. We have enough sheets? Or we need some more?
We have enough sheets, but not enough space.
Sorry?
We have enough sheets, but not enough space.
What do you mean? To write?
Because
Oh, I see what you're saying.
At
the back?
Put the members or on a different sheet.
My lord,
What was that in here?
she wants to know in tally 2 independent candidates. If she can put them on a different sheet by themselves. Yes, you can put them on a sheet by themselves. They can go on one sheet, Lauren. She said to put it on one sheet. So you can use a tally sheet for the independent candidate. Okay? All right, we're going to begin. Are we ready? Okay. Brandon, you ready? Thank you. You ready? Box number 1, A to C. D'Souza. Okay, I'm gonna call first and last name. Okay, so you can be clear. So we have Bernard Christian being the first one. Okay? The second one is Makisha D'Souza. The third is John Bonita. The fourth is Morris Orlando. And the fifth one is Nibs Atta. Biza Melanie. Burton Wade. D'Souza Jermaine. Frank Jacqueline. George Nadia. Antonio Nico. Biza Melanie. Burton Wade. Frank Jacqueline. George Nadia. Antonio Nico. Biza Melanie. Burton Wade. Frank Jacqueline. George Nadia. Okay? Biza Melanie. Daniel Heskett. Frank Jacqueline. Morris Orlando. Antonio Nico. Biza Melanie. Burton Wade. John Bonita. Morris Orlando. D'Souza Jermaine. D'Souza Makisha. John Bonita. Morris Orlando. Nibs Atta. Antonio Nico. Daniel Haskett. D'Souza Jermaine. John Bonita. Morris Orlando. Biza Melanie. Burton Wade. D'Souza Jermaine. D'Souza Makisha. George Nadia. Antonio Nico. Biza Melanie. Burton Wade. Frank Jacqueline. George Nadia. Christian Bernard. D'Souza Jermaine. John Bonita. Morris Orlando. Nibs Atta. Antonio Nico. Biza Melanie. Burton Wade. Christian Bernard. Frank Jacqueline. Biza Melanie. Burton Wade. D'Souza Jermaine. Frank Jacqueline. John Bonita. Burton Wade. D'Souza Jermaine. D'Souza Makisha, Frank Jacqueline, George Nadia. D'Souza Jermaine, Nibs Arthur. Antonio Nico, Biza Melanie, Burton Wade, Frank Jacqueline, George Nadia. Antonio Nico, Biza Melanie, Burton Wade, Frank Jacqueline, George Nadia. Antonio Nico, Burton Wade, D'Souza Jermaine, Frank Jacqueline, George Nadia. Antonio Nico, Biza Melanie, Burton Wade, Frank Jacqueline, George Nadia. Antonio Nico, Biza Melanie, Burton Wade, Frank Jacqueline, George Nadia. Burton Wade, Christian Bernard, D'Souza Jermaine, John Bonita, Morris Orlando. Antonio Nico, Biza Melanie, Burton Wade, Frank Jacqueline, George Nadia. Okay, this person marked the X beside the numbers, which is still legal, it is still a good ballot so long as the intent of the voter is realized. So we have Burton Wade, D'Souza Jermaine, Frank Jacqueline, John Bonita, Nibs Arthur. Antonio Nico, Biza Melanie, Burton Wade, Frank Jacqueline, George Nadia. Antonio Nico, Burton Wade, D'Souza Jermaine, Frank Jacqueline, George Nadia. Antonio Nico, Burton Wade, D'Souza Jermaine, Frank Jacqueline, George Nadia. Antonio Nico, Biza Melanie, Burton Wade, Frank Jacqueline, George Nadia. Burton Wade, Christian Bernard, D'Souza Jermaine, Frank Jacqueline, Morris Orlando. Antonio Nico, Biza Melanie, Burton Wade, George Nadia, John Bonita. Antonio Nico, Burton Wade, Christian Bernard, Frank Jacqueline, John Bonita. Antonio Nico, Biza Melanie, Burton Wade, D'Souza Jermaine, George Nadia. Burton Wade, D'Souza Jermaine, Morris Orlando, Nibs Arthur. Antonio Nico, Biza Melanie, Burton Wade, Frank Jacqueline, George Nadia. Daniel Casquette, D'Souza Jermaine, Nibs Arthur. Christian Bernard, D'Souza Makisha, John Bonita, Morris Orlando, Nibs Arthur. Christian Bernard, Daniel Casquette, D'Souza Makisha, John Bonita. Antonio Nico, Biza Melanie, Burton Wade, Frank Jacqueline, George Nadia. Antonio Nico, Biza Melanie, Burton Wade, Frank Jacqueline, George Nadia. Christian Bernard, D'Souza Makisha, John Bonita, Morris Orlando, Nibs Arthur. Antonio Nico, Biza Melanie, Burton Wade, Frank Jacqueline, George Nadia. Christian Bernard, Daniel Casquette, D'Souza Jermaine, D'Souza Makisha, Morris Orlando. Antonio Nico, Biza Melanie, Burton Wade, D'Souza Jermaine, Frank Jacqueline. Antonio Nico, Biza Melanie, Burton Wade, Frank Jacqueline, George Nadia. Antonio Nico, Biza Melanie, Burton Wade, D'Souza Jermaine, George Nadia. Christian Bernard, D'Souza Makisha, John Bonita, Morris Orlando, Nibs Arthur. Christian Bernard, D'Souza Makisha, John Bonita, Morris Orlando, Nibs Arthur. Antonio, Nico, Biza, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Antonio, Nico, Biza, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Christian, Bernard, D'Souza, Makisha, John, Bonita, Morris, Orlando, Nibs, Arthur. Antonio, Nico, Biza, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Antonio, Nico, Biza, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Antonio, Nico, Biza, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Antonio, Nico, Biza, Melanie, Burton, Wade, George, Nadia, Morris, Orlando. Antonio, Nico, Biza, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Christian, Bernard, D'Souza, Makisha, John, Bonita, Morris, Orlando, Nibs, Arthur. Antonio, Nico, Biza, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Burton, Wade, George, Nadia. Christian, Bernard, D'Souza, Makisha, John, Bonita, Morris, Orlando, Nibs, Arthur. Antonio, Nico, Biza, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline. Christian, Bernard, D'Souza, Makisha, John, Bonita, Morris, Orlando, Nibs, Arthur. Christian, Bernard, D'Souza, Makisha, John, Bonita, Morris, Orlando, Nibs, Arthur. Antonio, Nico, Biza, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Antonio, Nico, Burton, Wade, D'Souza, Jermaine, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Biza, Melanie, Burton, Wade, D'Souza, Jermaine, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Antonio, Nico, Burton, Wade, George, Nadia, John, Bonita, Nibs, Arthur. Antonio, Nico, Biza, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Christian, Bernard, D'Souza, Makisha, John, Bonita, Morris, Orlando, Nibs, Arthur. Antonio, Nico, Biza, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Antonio, Nico, Biza, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Antonio, Nico, Burton, Wade, Antonio, Nico, Biza, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Biza, Melanie, Burton, Wade, D'Souza, Jermaine, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Antonio, Nico, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia, John, Bonita. Antonio, Nico, Burton, Wade, D'Souza, Makisha, George, Nadia, Morris, Orlando. Burton, Wade, Christian, Bernard, D'Souza, Makisha, Morris, Orlando, Nibs, Arthur. Antonio, Nico, Burton, Wade, D'Souza, Jermaine, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Antonio, Nico, Biza, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Burton, Wade, D'Souza, Jermaine, D'Souza, Makisha, John, Bonita. Daniel, Heskett, D'Souza, Makisha, John, Bonita, Morris, Orlando, Nibs, Arthur. Burton, Wade, Christian, Bernard, Morris, Orlando, Nibs, Arthur. Antonio, Nico, Beezer, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Antonio, Nico, Beezer, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Christian, Bernard, D'Souza, Jermaine, John, Bonita, Morris, Orlando, Nibs, Arthur. Christian, Bernard, D'Souza, Makisha, John, Bonita, Morris, Orlando, Nibs, Arthur. D'Souza, Jermaine, D'Souza, Makisha, John, Bonita, Morris, Orlando, Nibs, Arthur. Burton, Wade, Christian, Bernard, Morris, Orlando, Nibs, Arthur. Christian, Bernard, D'Souza, Makisha, John, Bonita, Morris, Orlando, Nibs, Arthur. Antonio, Nico, Beezer, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Antonio, Nico, Beezer, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Christian, Bernard, D'Souza, Makisha, John, Bonita, Morris, Orlando, Nibs, Arthur. Antonio, Nico, Beezer, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, Nadia, George. Antonio, Nico, Burton, Wade, D'Souza, Jermaine, George, Nadia, Nibs, Arthur. Antonio, Nico, Burton, Wade, D'Souza, Jermaine, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Antonio, Nico, Beezer, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Okay? Oh, I see. They mark the X's in the symbols. So we have here Antonio, Nico, Beezer, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Want a closer look? They're marked in the symbol. See? Okay. Burton, Wade, D'Souza, Makisha, Morris, Orlando, Nibbs, Arthur. Christian, Bernard, D'Souza, Makisha, John, Bonita, Morris, Orlando, Nibbs, Arthur. Antonio, Nico, Biza, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Antonio, Nico, Biza, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Antonio, Nico, Biza, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Biza, Melanie, Christian, Bernard, Daniel, Heskett, Morris, Orlando, Nibbs, Arthur. Antonio, Nico, Biza, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Antonio, Nico, Biza, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Antonio, Nico, Biza, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Antonio, Nico, Biza, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Burton, Wade, D'Souza, Jermaine, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia, Morris, Orlando. Antonio, Nico, Biza, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Christian, Bernard, D'Souza, Jermaine, D'Souza, Makisha, John, Bonita, Morris, Orlando. Antonio, Nico, Biza, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Antonio, Nico, Biza, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Antonio, Nico, Biza, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Christian, Bernard, D'Souza, Makisha, John, Bonita, Morris, Orlando, Nibs, Arthur. Antonio, Nico, Biza, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Christian, Bernard, D'Souza, Makisha, John, Bonita, Morris, Orlando, Nibs, Arthur. Antonio, Nico, Biza, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Antonio, Nico, Biza, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Antonio, Nico, Biza, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Antonio, Nico, Biza, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Antonio, Nico, Burton, Wade, Christian, Bernard, D'Souza, Jermaine, John, Bonita. Antonio, Nico, Biza, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Christian, Bernard, D'Souza, Jermaine, D'Souza, Makisha, John, Bonita, Nibs, Arthur. Antonio, Nico, Biza, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Antonio, Nico, Biza, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Antonio, Nico, Biza, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Christian, Bernard, D'Souza, Makisha, John, Bonita, Morris, Orlando, Nibs, Arthur. Antonio, Nico, Biza, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Antonio, Nico, Biza, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline. Antonio, Nico, Beezer, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Antonio, Nico, Beezer, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Antonio, Nico, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia, Nibs, Arthur. Antonio, Nico, Beezer, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Antonio, Nico, Beezer, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Antonio, Nico, Beezer, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Antonio, Nico, Beezer, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Antonio, Nico, Beezer, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Antonio, Nico, Beezer, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Yes, that's it. 5? Okay. Antonio, Nico, Beezer, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Antonio, Nico, Beezer, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Christian, Bernard, D'Souza, Makisha, John, Bonita, Morris, Orlando, Nibs, Arthur. Antonio, Nico, Beezer, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Antonio, Nico, Beezer, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Christian, Bernard, D'Souza, Makisha, John, Bonita, Morris, Orlando, Nibs, Arthur. Christian, Bernard, D'Souza, Makisha, John, Bonita, Morris, Orlando, Nibs, Arthur. Antonio, Nico, Beezer, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Antonio, Nico, Beezer, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Christian, Bernard, D'Souza, Makisha, John, Bonita, Morris, Orlando, Nibs, Arthur. Antonio, Nico, Beezer, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Antonio, Nico, Beezer, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Christian, Bernard, D'Souza, Makisha, John, Bonita, Morris, Orlando, Nibs, Arthur. Antonio, Nico, Beezer, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Beezer, Melanie, Christian, Bernard, D'Souza, Jermaine, John, Bonita, Nibs, Arthur. Antonio, Nico, Beezer, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Beezer, Melanie, Burton, Wade, D'Souza, Jermaine, George, Nadia, John, Bonita. Christian, Bernard, D'Souza, Jermaine, John, Bonita, Morris, Orlando, Nibs, Arthur. Antonio, Nico, Beezer, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Christian, Bernard, D'Souza, Makisha, John, Bonita, Morris, Orlando, Nibs, Arthur. Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Antonio, Nico, Beezer, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Christian, Bernard, D'Souza, Makisha, John, Bonita, Morris, Orlando, Nibs, Arthur. Antonio, Nico, Beezer, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Antonio, Nico, Beezer, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Antonio, Nico, Beezer, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. Antonio, Nico, Beezer, Melanie, Burton, Wade, Frank, Jacqueline, George, Nadia. And here ends box number 1.
Okay, there goes box number 1. And I'm looking at some figures here because we weren't actually counting though, but for those who are home and doing the count, we'll be able to bring something up. But I
Are we
would say
ready?
that they're going.
Let me rest my foot there.
Yes, Marshal. Yeah. However, they are getting ready to see what's happening on the ground here with the counting. So they're getting set to bring you box number 2.
What we see happening here is that, right, so go and get some figures. We're still here, we're live at the Holy Trinity School grounds. The box number 1 just finished counting, and that one.
Because I hear you saying, wait, you're not done yet? Because I left here and went to pick up my phone, and it was a distance, and I got back, still counting. Okay, so let's work with the tally clerk until our person comes back.
Yeah, so we will not say anything. All we are saying at this time, we want everyone just to be, we want to make sure we are safe, we are on the safe side, and get the figures for box number 1. So, box number 1 just about completed, and we're waiting for the tally right here.
How say you? So we finished metallic works. Give me a number, box number 1. Uh-huh.
Antonio 104.
Hold on. Antonio 104.
Melanie Visa 98.
Visa
Melanie
98.
Wade Burton 123.
123.
Yes. Jacqueline Frank 104.
Frank 104. Uh-huh.
George 105.
Okay? So for box number 1, Antonio 104. Visa 98. Burton 123. Frank 104. George 105. That's it? That's for the BPM. Mm-hmm.
And the ABLP,
Mm-hmm.
Christian 42. D'Souza Lakeisha 38.
38?
38, 38.
Mm-hmm.
John Bonita 47. Orlando Morris 47. Waves 45.
45?
Yes.
Okay.
Estet 7.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jermaine D'Souza 36.
Daniel Pesquet 7 and Jermaine D'Souza 36. Are we good? Okay. No rejected.
So in the first box, we have Antonio 104, Beezer 98, Burton 124, Frank 104, George 105. That's for the BPM. For the ABLP, Bernard 41, D'Souza 38, John 47, and for the independent, Daniel 7, and Jermaine D'Souza 36. So that's the first box, and we're preparing now to bring you the second box, and that box will be from C to, what's that, from C to, okay, I will be looking over that. No, that's from A to C. That's box from A to C. And historically, for the folks who have been living in Barbuda and dealing with the council's election, or the council election, should know what box is best for whom. And tonight we've seen the incumbent BPM
Box number
picking
2.
up some lead here and making waves in the first box.
D
Let's see what
to
we
G.
make. Box D to G. No, box number 2, D to G. How many boxes are there, Franco?
I think there are 5 boxes.
So there are 5 boxes. All right, so it's going to be not a long night, but a night that we can be able to go home and make it quickly. All right, so we're going to be getting ready to bring you box number 2, D to G, as Mrs. The returning officer get ready to open up and start the counting. You're listening to live and you're watching live the Barbuda Council election 2025, and 5 seats are up for grab. The Antigua Labour Party looking for 5, and BPM looking to maintain what they had coming into this election. It has been a very nice day today, with folks coming through, but it's a low turnout, and some of the reasons are because of the revalidation of cards and the length of time that it takes for them to get their cards. And some folks have to be coming and getting temporary cards in. So we're getting ready now to bring you the live count as the returning officer ready for us.
Ready? Biza, Melanie, Christian, Bernard, D'Souza, Jermaine, Frank, Jacqueline, John, Bonita, Morris, Orland. Hold on, this has 6, they voted for 6 persons. So this is spoiled ballot. They voted for 6 persons. So this is a rejected ballot. Okay? Sorry? You want to see it? See? You good? Antonio, Nico, D'Souza, Jermaine, John, Bonita. Christian, Bernard, D'Souza, Makisha, John, Bonita, Morris, Orlando, Nibs, Arthur. Antonio, Nico, Biza, Melanie, Bert. Rejected. They voted for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 candidates. So I'm going to go back to, so this is a rejected ballot. No. I'm going to start over. Listen up. I'm going to start over for the first 2 that we have, so we can be clear. Okay? But this one is a rejected. You can see, right?
Yes.
Okay, so when we started, I'm going back to the first 2 ballots, just so we can start again. You got me? Okay, so we have Antonio, D'Souza, John, Bonita. Jermaine D'Souza, sorry. So we have Antonio, Nico, Jermaine D'Souza, John, Bonita. That's the first one. We got that? The second one is Christian, Bernard, D'Souza, Makisha, John, Bonita, Morris, Orlando, Nibs, Arthur. So we should have everybody in sync again. Correct?
One across the board.
Across the board. So we in sync? Okay, let's go. Huh? Oh, look the man in our private and look up upon them. Look up upon them, let's say. Okay. Christian, Bernard, D'Souza, Makisha, George, Nadia, Morris, Orlando Nibs Arthur. Okay. Christian Bernard D'Souza Makisha George Nadia Morris Orlando Nibs Arthur. We back on point again?
Yes.
Thank you. Burton Wade D'Souza Jermaine. Antonio Nico Burton Wade Christian Bernard George Nadia Morris Orlando. Burton Wade D'Souza Makisha Frank Jacqueline George Nadia Morris Orlando. Antonio Nico Biza Melanie Burton Wade Frank Jacqueline George Nadia. Biza Melanie Burton Wade D'Souza Jermaine Frank Jacqueline George Nadia. Antonio Nico Biza Melanie Burton Wade Frank Jacqueline. Burton Wade Daniel Heskett D'Souza Jermaine George Nadia. Antonio Nico Biza Melanie Burton Wade Christian Bernard. Sorry, rejected. They voted for 6 candidates. So for this one here, there's an Antonio, a Biza, a Burton, a Christian, then we have the Frank and George. So they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They voted for 6 persons. Oh, so it's those, okay. So we just went up to Christian. Okay. So you take them back off?
No. You just keep the thing on them.
Listen again, listen again. Come, let's go again.
No, I'm saying you just keep the thing on them because you may call them again.
No, 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 no. I'm gonna start again. This is a rejected ballot. So we're gonna start again so we get it right. Don't worry.
You're going to start from where?
You will, I'll tell you just now.
I think you should count them first before you
Okay? Listen to me. Come, let's go. We're starting again. We are starting again.
From all over.
Yes. Okay? Antonio. You want to line through everything. We're starting again. Clerks, are you with me? Okay. Antonio, Nico, Burton, Wade, Christian, George, Morris. Burton, D'Souza Jermaine. This is the first one. I just called the first one. The first one was Antonio, Burton, Christian, George, Morris. You get that? So we should have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 5. The second one, we have Burton and D'Souza Germain. That's the second one. We there? Then we have Christian, D'Souza Makisha, George Nadia, Morris Orlando, Nibs Arthur. Then we have Christian, D'Souza Makisha, John Morris Nibs. Christian, D'Souza, John Morris Nibs. We there? Then we have Antonio, D'Souza Germain, John Bonita. Mm-hmm. You ready again? Burton, D'Souza Makisha, Frank Jacqueline, George Nadia, Morris. Burton Wade, D'Souza Makisha, Frank Jacqueline, George Nadia, Morris Orlando. Ready again? Antonio,